entertainment celebrations by the middle school students of Sindhi High School, Hebbal. Education, according to Gita, is to develop virtuous knowledge, to develop and effect sublimation, to develop the inner consciousness, to coordinate between the intellectual and logical ability, to establish importance of duty in life. We here in Sindhi High School very strongly believe in these ideals of education and work towards removing the ignorance, awakening the inherent powers, and motivating our children to move towards the right path. It gives me great joy and immense exultation to welcome our chief guest for the day, Mrs. Jayashree Prince Jacob. Respected President of Sindhi Seva Samiti, Shri Madan Daulat Ram, Chairman Shri Rajan Daulat Ram, Honorary Secretary Shri Naveen Nichani, Honorary Treasurer Shri Anil Jai Singh, Honorary Joint Secretary Shri Kishan Kishore, our past President Shri Prakash F. Madhwani, Alpana Kala, Vice Principal KK Road, and the CEO Ms. Ratnakumari are humbly welcomed. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening belongs to you and your wards who have put their heart and soul for the last 3 weeks to rock the stage today. Before we move on to the formal function, may I request all of you to ensure that your mobiles are in silent mode and give quality time to your children. Thank you. Fill your mind with me. Love me, serve me, worship me always. Seeking me in your heart, you will at last be united with me. With these words from the Bhagavad Gita, we commence today's cultural extravaganza with the Invocation Song by our choir to entreat the blessings of the Almighty throughout the evening.
Om
That was indeed soulful and divine. Lighting of the lamp purifies the environment as well as invites divine waves to the premises. May I request our chief guest, our president and his team of office bearers, accompanied by our principal, to light the ceremonious lamp.
दीपं ज्योति परब्रह्मा दीपं सर्वतमोपहं दीपेन साध्यते सर्वं सन्ध्यादीपं नमोऽस्तुते
It gives me immense pleasure in introducing our guest for the evening, Mrs. Jayashree Prince Jacob. Mrs. Jayashree is the head of the Department of English in the ISC section of St. Joseph's Boys High School. The author of 8 books and workbooks for the ICSE and ISC syllabus, Mrs. Jayashree Jacob is a well-known name among staff and students alike in most ICSE institutions across India. Mrs. Jacob had her early schooling at Sophia High School and her degree in psychology, economics and English at Mount Carmel College. She did her master's in English literature, specializing in American and world literature, Indian writing in English, linguistics and stylistics, and literary criticism, securing the 2nd rank. Mrs. Jayashree Jacob has close to 20 years of teaching experience and has taught higher English for degree students. She has been involved in coaching professionals from foreign countries like Korea, Japan, and Iran to take up the IELTS exam. Besides a passion for teaching, she has also been involved in theatre and public speaking and directed a number of plays both in college and school. We are glad to have you amongst us, ma'am. May I request our Honorary Secretary, Sri Naveen Nichani, to give the Chief Guest a floral welcome. Thank you, sir. One of the central and fundamental values of all religions is welcoming guests. This concept is accepted as one of the most essential commandments. Our tradition teaches us that welcoming guests can be considered a higher commandment than prayer, that it stands on the same level as welcoming the God's presence. Having secured the first position in academics in the year 2017-18, the Earth House has its captain for the year 2018-19, Guru Prerna Shabadi, formally welcoming the venerable audience.
A very good evening to everyone present here. I am Guru Prerna Shabadi, and I consider it to be my honor to welcome you all to the Middle School Annual Day. I would like to extend warm greetings to our chief guest, Mrs. Jayashree Prince Jacob, HOD, English Department at St. Joseph's Boys High School. It is indeed an honor to have you with us, ma'am. I would also like to welcome the respected President of Sindhi Seva Samiti, Shri Madan Daulat Ram, Chairman, Shri Rajan Daulat Ram, Honorary Secretary, Shri Naveen Nichani, Honorary Treasurer, Shri Anil Kumar Jai Singh, Honorary Joint Secretary, Shri Kishan Kishore, Past President, Shri Prakash F. Madhwani, Vice Principal, Sindhi High School, KK Road, Mrs. Alpana Kala, COO, Ms. Ratna Kumari, our Principal, Mrs. Maitri Satyadev, and Vice Principals, Mrs. Rachana Sharma and Mrs. Chitralekha P. The proud parents who have come here to watch their children perform are humbly welcomed. the students, teachers, and staff have put in several weeks of hard work in presenting to you this year's annual day with the theme Celebrations. This is the evening all children look forward to, a platform open for all to present their talents and wow the audience with their thrilling performances. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and get ready to taste the flavor of celebrations.
Speech is an instrument of communication. It serves several other purposes. Quoting a couplet from Tirukkural, to look at someone with kindness, to smile at them, and to say pleasant words is a nice virtue. May I now call upon our chairman, Sri Rajan Daulatram, to address this unique audience.
Respected Chief Guest, Ms. Jayashree Jacob, President Shri Madan Daulatram, colleague office bearers, Principal Mrs. Maitri Satyadev, other executives, parents, teachers, and dear students. Wishing you all a very good evening. The annual day certainly is the most cherished day of the school life. Best wishes for the same. Under the aegis of Sindhi Seva Samiti, our group of educational institutions is imparting education to 6,000 plus students today under various institutions. We have the Sindhi High School Hebbal, Sindhi High School KK Road, the Sindhi College, PU College, the Sindhi Evening College, the Sindhi Degree College, and the Sindhi Management College. We also have our Sindhi Seva School running, wherein education is provided under the NIOS, and education is provided free of cost, and we also run the Sindhi Academy of Skills. Another good news to dear parents. This March, we have purchased a property on Tanisandra Main Road, wherein our PU College will be shifted over there. Our students continue to excel in AISSE and AISSCE exams. Apart from academics, our students have brought laurels in games and various competitions. Our congratulations to them. Also, all these results have been possible to the untiring efforts of our principal, Mrs. Maitri Satyadev, along with the vice principals and teachers. A big round of applause to all of them. I would like to share a story with you all, dear parents. Once a young schoolboy was caught in a fire accident in the school and was assumed that he will not be able to live. His mother was told that he was sure to die, for the terrible fire had devastated the lower part of his body. Even if he were to survive, he would be a cripple throughout his life. But the brave boy did not want to die, nor did he want to be a cripple. Much to the amazement of the doctors, he did survive. But unfortunately, from his waist down, he had no motor ability. His thin legs just dangled there, lifeless. Ultimately, he was discharged from the hospital, but his determination to walk was indomitable. At home, when he was not in bed, he was confined to a wheelchair. One day, he threw himself from the chair and pulled himself across the grass, dragging his legs behind him. He reached the picket fence, raised himself up, and stroke by stroke, he began dragging himself along the fence, his resolve to walk undeterred. He did this every day with faith in himself that he will be able to walk unaided. With his iron persistence and his resolved determination, he did develop the ability to stand up, then to walk haltingly, and then to walk by himself, and then to run. He began to walk to school, then run to school, then to run for the sheer joy of running. Later in college, he made it to the track team. In February 1934, in New York City's famed Madison Square Garden, this young man, who was not expected to survive, who would surely not walk, who could never hope to run, this determined young man, Dr. Glenn Cunningham, ran the world's fastest mile. An epitome of power of positive thinking and faith in oneself, this story is a brilliant testimony to how one can bounce back even when all odds are stacked against oneself. Please encourage your children to never give up or lose hope. I'm sure you all would be looking forward to your awards performance. Let the celebrations begin.
Thank you, sir. A comprehensive report on the various activities and brilliant achievements of our students throughout the preceding year will now be presented by our Vice Principal, Mrs. Rachna Sharma.
A very good evening and season's greetings to all. I feel honored to extend a hearty welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Mrs. Jayashree Prince Jacob, President, Sri Madan Daulatram, Chairman, Sri Rajan Daulatram, Honorary Secretary, Sri Naveen Nichani, Honorary Treasurer, Sri Anil Kumar Jaisingh, Honorary Joint Secretary, Sri Kishan Kishore, members of the Managing Committee, School Governing Council, executives of our sister institution, Mrs. Alpana Kala, Vice Principal, and Mrs. Ratna Kumari, COO, SHS KK Road, Principal Mrs. Maitreyi Satyadev, Vice Principal Mrs. Chitralekha, special invitees, parents, members of staff, and dear students. I welcome you to celebrate the growth and ongoing development of Sindhi High School Hebbal as reflected in this annual report for the school year 2018-19. The beginning of the academic year is the official start of a bustling new year. With new plans, new dreams, anticipation and excitement, we welcomed another beginning with strength and ambition to achieve new goals on May 24th. Indeed, Sindhi High School has a lot to celebrate as it looks back to the 15 crystal years of its offering to the neighborhood of North Bangalore and reflects on its significant milestones and achievements. Sindhi High School Hebbal is a part of the Sindhi group of educational institutions run by the Sindhi Seva Samiti. Established in the year 2003, Sindhi High School has become a benchmark to measure academic, co-curricular, and extracurricular excellence. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet, said Aristotle. To relish this fruit of success, an annual prize day has been instituted from this academic year to exclusively recognize and reward those of our students who have brought laurels to the school with their brilliant efforts in the academic field. The 117 General Proficiency Prize winners of classes 1 to 9 and class 11 were awarded merit certificates and gift vouchers on 9th June, while the toppers of class 10 and 12 board exams were honored for their excellent performance on 30th June. They were awarded silver medals and certificates by their own teachers in the presence of their parents and peers. In the senior secondary category, 88 students appeared in the class 12 board exams, of which 87 received first class and 1 student received second class. Afreen Kansal of PCMC was ranked first in the school with 97.4%. Aditya C. and Dhruva Kashyap stood second with 96.4%, and S. Tanmay was ranked third with 95.2%. In the PCMB stream, Nihar U. Mudinur was ranked first with 94.6%. Priyadarshini Sahu stood second with 93.8%, Swati Reddy Metipalle and Vishaka V stood third with 93.6%. The top scorers in class 12 subject-wise are as follows. Afreen Kansal topped in 3 subjects, English with 97%, Computer Science and Physics with 99%. Aditya C scored a perfect centum in maths. Nihar U. Mudinur in chemistry with 98% and Krishna Prasad in biology with 98%. In the secondary category, 150 students appeared in the class 10 board exams, of which 144 students received first class, 48 students scored more than 90%, 92 students scored above 80%, and 113 students scored above 75%. Madhulika V secured the first place with 98% marks. Nandini D stood second with 97.8%. Madhumita Raghu and Prakhar Khandelwal stood third with 97.6%. Kudos to the deserving students. Our school received the second prize for having obtained the second highest number of A1s in Sanskrit in the class 10 board exams by the Bangalore Sahodaya. The toppers of class 10 and 12 were felicitated by Bangalore Sahodaya Schools Complex on 23rd June 2018. The best all-round performance trophies for this year, for the year 2017-18 were bagged by Shishir B. Rao of class 5 in the junior category, Prakhar Khandelwal of class 10 in the senior category, and Afreen Kansal of class 12 in the senior secondary category. These lovely trophies which are on display will be presented to the prize winners on this senior school annual day. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Every May, in the beginning of each new academic year, the faculty and staff spend a few days reviewing all aspects of the school program, which best serves the students with us currently and those of the future. Formulating an action plan, keeping in mind the challenges ahead. In keeping with the school's policy of continuous upgradation of knowledge and skills, our teachers attended various workshops organized by CBSE and Bangalore Sahodaya. An orientation program for parents of classes nursery, 10, 11, and 12 was conducted on various days to give parents an insight into the assessment method and class routine. We have completed first and second unit tests and a term exam for class 11 and 12, 2 periodic tests, and the first term exam for classes 1 to 10. The results were declared and report cards were issued in the PTMs following each assessment. Regular PTMs are scheduled on the second Saturday of every month to create a favorable environment in which both parents and teachers work towards the betterment of the students. As per the state government directive, Kannada has been made compulsory as second language in class 1 and 2, and we are teaching Hindi as additional subject. Strength does not come from physical capacity, it comes from unity. The students of the school are divided into 4 houses: Earth, Jupiter, Neptune, and Venus. Each house is managed by teachers, and students as house captains and vice captains are appointed. Apart from this, the school head boy and head girl and sports captains are also appointed. The principal and vice principals presented the house colors to the student council during the investiture ceremony. Our school was the host to the inter-school basketball tournament held on 2nd and 3rd August. Shri Anil Kumar BK, international basketball player, inaugurated the event. National Public School Rajaji Nagar were the proud winners in the boys and girls category. World Environment Day was marked by a host of activities encouraging the idea of Go Green, Go Clean. Students across classes pre-primary to 12 actively contributed towards creating awareness about protecting our environment. From this academic year, our school too has expressed solidarity with the Go Green initiative to create a campus-wide culture of conservation. The school has gone paperless by switching on to e-newsletter and e-invites for all school functions. Our first issue of the e-newsletter, the Sindhian, was launched on 19 September. Links were electronically shared with the parents and members of management. It is a small but significant step towards generating less waste and saving trees. International Yoga Day and World Music Day, which fall together on 21st July, saw students bringing harmony between mind and body through yoga and music. As part of the assembly activity, a plethora of events were organized and conducted by the students of various classes. Talk on Father's Day, Health and Hygiene, Sanskrit Week, and Kannada Rajyotsava, Moment of Calm, Skit on Environment Day, World Peace Day, Mime and Mono Acting on the importance of saving water, punctuality, etc. were just a few. It is vital that while educating our children's brains, we do not neglect to educate their hearts. Co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities, and academics complement each other to develop a well-rounded student with more social skills. To inculcate a spirit of commitment and responsibility along with teamwork, various CCA and club activities were conducted throughout the year. Our students participated in numerous inter-school competitions conducted by various schools of Bangalore. Hobby classes such as karate, table tennis, and Bharatnatyam also provide students more opportunities to boost their skills. Global Awareness Program for classes 1, 2, and 3 helps students hone their general knowledge. Olympiads in subjects like English, Math, Science, Cyber, and Commerce Olympiads were also conducted. The pre-primary section celebrated various festivals and days with much enthusiasm. Janmashtami, Dashera, Diwali, Grandparents' Day, Independence Day, Color Week provided avenues to students to soak in the festive spirit. Dada J.P. Vaswani left for his heavenly abode on 12th July 2018. He was a non-sectarian spiritual leader who also promoted vegetarianism and animal rights. He initiated the Global Peace Initiative called the Moment of Calm. Students and staff observed a 2-minute silence in memory of the departed soul. The Moment of Calm was observed on August 2nd as part of the Sadhu Vaswani mission. Independence Day was celebrated on 15th August with classes 7 to 12 witnessing the flag hoisting by the chief guest, Sri Rajan Daulatram, Chairman, Sindhi High School, Hebbal. Cultural programs commemorating the freedom struggle with all the great personalities who played an important role in the independence movement was put up by the students. As we celebrate the individual contributions to our school, we wish to recognize 16 employees who completed 15 years of dedicated service to the school. They were felicitated by the president and office bearers of the school on the occasion of Teachers' Day. On Teachers' Day, 2 staff members were recognized by the members of the management for their professional achievements. Mrs. Girija Nagarajan from the Computer Science Department was felicitated for writing a book on computer science titled Growing Up with Computers. Mr. Vinay S., PE instructor, was felicitated for being selected as the national referee in football. He was recently officiating in the 2-week-long national football tournament and has just reported back to work. Tata Classage felicitated 70 active teachers on 3rd October 2018 for their special efforts in making learning more engaging and fun using Tata Classage interactive boards. Pre-primary Sports Day was conducted on 1st September with Sri Kishan Kishore, our Honorary Joint Secretary, as the chief guest. Pre-primary Cultural Fest with the theme Nammuru Bengaluru was a delightful slice of our lives in this vibrant metropolitan city. Annual Sports Day was organized on 1st October at Malleshwaram grounds. Shri Girish R. Gowda, international champion kickboxer, was the chief guest for the inauguration, and Shri Naveen Nichani, Honorary Secretary Sindhi High School Hebbal, distributed the prizes during the valedictory program. Junior School Annual Day was also celebrated on 3rd November with the Tiny Tots dressed up as toys in Toyland. The chief guest for the event was Mrs. Radhika Dijam, freelance writer, author, and poet. Kindergarten Open Day was organized on November 10th with the intention of letting prospective parents experience our teaching methodology and infrastructure firsthand. Children's Day was observed as No Bag Day. Students had a lot of fun with their friends as various children's movies were shown to them. Picnics were arranged for classes pre-primary to 12 to various locations in the city. Classes pre-primary 1, 2, and 3 went to MG Farms. Classes 4, 5, and 6 went to Madhuvana Resort. Classes 7 and 8 went to Hidden Resort. And classes 9, 10, 11, and 12 went to RD Nature's Retreat. Successful teachers are those who have the ability to maximize the learning potential of all their students. Positive teacher-student relationships promote a sense of school belonging and encourage students to participate cooperatively. A class teacher period has been introduced this year for classes 1 to 12 during the first period on every Monday. Teachers are able to assist students with motivation and goal setting, and students can turn to them for advice and guidance. The school has 2 able counselors to help all students in the area of academic achievement, career, and social emotional development. As part of other new initiatives, this year saw the introduction of trousers for girls from classes 7 to 12. School blazers were introduced for students of classes 9 to 12. To complement the new look of the students, the school staff were provided with a new set of uniform. School management software with school mobile app Chalo has been procured. It gives parents access to the child's profile, daily attendance and assessments, updates and information through email and text messages are also sent using this software. Coming to our social commitments, scholarships of rupees 14,11,775 have been granted to 48 students. RTE fee concession to the tune of rupees 48,600,000 has been granted to 130 students. All this, ladies and gentlemen, would not have been possible without the relentless hard work of our teaching and support staff. The visible and invisible support of our ever-encouraging president and his team of office bearers plays a huge role in our success. My gratitude, please keep the, thank you. My gratitude goes out to Mrs. Maitreyi Satyadev, our principal, and all of you, dear parents, for standing by with the school in all its decisions. As Winston Churchill said, now this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. Thank you.
The words uttered by enlightened scholars will only be kind words carrying love and no malice. I now request our chief guest for the day, Mrs. Jayashree Jacob, to address the gathering.
Respected President, Mr. Madan Daulatram, Chairman Shri Rajan Daulatram, members of the management, Principal Mrs. Maitreyi Satyadev, Vice Principals Mrs. Rachna Sharma and Mrs. Chitralekha, parents, guests, members of the staff, and my dear students. A verse in the Traitanya Upanishad says, Atiti Devo Bhava. And that is exactly what I felt with this really warm welcome that was extended to me today. Thank you so much for having me here. I deem it a great privilege to be here today and address you this evening. In my career spanning over 20 years, I have taught students of college, school, professionals. And if there is one truth that I got from there, it is success comes to those who believe in themselves. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel laureate and a Pakistani female education activist, once said something very powerful. She said, always remember that one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. How incredibly true that is. But for that to happen, children must believe that they can change the world. They must know that they are capable of changing the world. This reminds me of a story that I once heard. In fact, it's a true story. It's a story about a statue of clay in Bangkok. A 10-foot statue that had to be relocated because of a new highway that is coming up where the monastery was. So they got these cranes and they hooked up this 10-foot statue and they began to lift it when suddenly, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, the rope gave way and the statue fell to the ground. And there was a crack. And the monks were aghast, their sacred statue. So they stopped all work. But they were very curious because when they looked at the place where it had cracked, they could see something gleaming. So on a closer look, they got curious and decided to chisel a part of that covering to see what lay beneath. And they set to work with chisel and hammer. And to their absolute shock, when they had removed the outer covering, there was a statue of solid gold of the Buddha. 5,500 kgs of gold. Today, if you go to Bangkok, the Temple of the Golden Buddha, you will see the statue there. And you will also see the 8-inch clay covering that is kept displayed over there. So why did I narrate the story? I think as parents and teachers, we have a huge role to play to make our children believe that there is a core of solid gold in them. The core which is covered. It is covered with clay because, years of fears, insecurities caused by the pressures and demands of family and society. The historians did say that 200 years earlier, this relocation happened in 1954. 200 years earlier, when the Burmese attacked Thailand, the monks were so afraid that they would plunder and loot for the gold of the statue that they covered it up in clay so that it will not be harmed or defaced. Sadly, all the monks died in that attack, and the secret remained intact for 200 years until they discovered this. Sometimes what appears like an accident, a fall, an injury, a setback can actually serve to reveal the gold in our children. So parents and teachers must really strive to help empower our children to chisel away at this covering, the outer clay covering, and help them to see what is within them, the true value, so that they are able to attain their full potential. Otherwise, these children are going to drive through life with the handbrake on, not knowing what they can do and how they can change the world. I'm so impressed to see so many parents here today. It just shows that you have time for your children and you would like them to know that you are really involved in what they do. I think, parents, you deserve a huge round of applause. Giving your time for your child is the biggest gift that you can give your child. Set aside all those, official meetings and social life and whatever you have. Give your child your time when you can. A time will come when they are on their own. They don't need you anymore. But while you can, please spend the maximum time with them. Having said that, I would also caution you to have the wisdom to let go when you have to. That is so important. Many parents, unwittingly, well-intentioned parents, indulge in what you call helicopter parenting. They hover over their children all the time, watching what they are doing, guiding them, being over strict and demanding of their children. They make decisions for their children. And what happens? The child becomes a misfit. The child is not able to make his or her own decisions in the future. The child is not able to manage his or her own life, his emotions, his behavior. So please refrain from doing that. Also refrain from being overprotective about your children. Parents meaning well for their children want them to avoid any kind of hardship. They don't want them to face any failure, any disappointment, which is wrong. Your child has to face failure, has to face disappointment, even repeatedly, no problem. It is making your child a stronger person. Your child has to hear no from you. Many parents seem to think they must not say no. Your child has to hear that. Their world is very different from your world, and you cannot safeguard them from any kind of problems. They have to equip themselves to face their future. Also, parents, if there is one thing I would request of you, is not to make your child live your dream. Allow them to dream on their own. Their dream could be much larger and outweigh what you could ever imagine. So be there for them. Encourage them to dream big. And you will see that they achieve a lot more than you ever thought they could. Childhood is a very important phase in our lives. Childhood is the most important part of our entire life and is not to be spent in middle of 4 concrete walls. No. It is not meant for children to be hooked up to electronic equipment, looking into mobiles, playing on computer games. Today I come with a plea to you parents. Please encourage your child to play outdoor games. Encourage your child to read books, not on Kindle, the real books. Encourage them to stimulate their senses with everything around them. Let them feel the sun on their face, the wind in their hair. Let them learn to enjoy the many little things that they see in the world around them. That will teach them more than any classroom, any academic book can ever teach them. To the teaching fraternity, I know what you all are going through, don't I? I also know, as you would, I'm sure, that the task we are given is a divine task, nothing short of divinity. We are guiding, shaping, and molding the citizens of the future world. What higher task is there? The world is really hurtling at an unimaginable speed. We should realize what our role is in this fast-paced world. Our role is not to provide knowledge. A teacher's job is not to provide knowledge. Knowledge is available in plenty at the click of a button, more than you can ever imagine. And the knowledge we have is outdated. Every day, every hour, knowledge is changing. The perceptions are changing. So what can we give them? We are not here to provide knowledge, but we are here to arouse their curiosity. We are here to kindle their interest. We are here to provoke their passions. We are here to fuel their fervor to seek and find this knowledge that is available. If we can do that, we can think ourselves, our job is done. Our children have embarked on an incredible journey, so to say. Let us be the catalyst in this transformation. Let us be there to see them grow in this wonderful journey filled with awe and wonder. I take this opportunity to congratulate the management. I was so impressed by what I saw, what I heard. I'm so impressed by the number of institutions being managed. And I'm so happy with the new venture, the land that you have taken in Thanisandra. Congratulations and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Humility and pleasant words are the true jewels for anyone and not anything. Thank you, ma'am. May I request our chairman, Sri Rajan Daulatram, to give a memento to our chief guest as a token of our love. Giving thanks is the primary virtue of humanity. An act of kindness, however small, done in the appropriate time, will be considered and thanked as a great help. Venus House, that emerged as the best house in the co-curricular activities for the year 2017-18, has its present captain, Sachit S.S., proposing the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to one and all present here. I am Sachit Shrikant of class 12, and I consider it a great honor and privilege to stand before you today and deliver the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank our esteemed chief guest, Mrs. Jayashree Prince Jacob, for attending this event. Your gracious presence is much appreciated, ma'am. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Sri Rajan Daulatram, President of Sindhi Seva Samiti, and his team of office bearers, past presidents, members of the managing committee, the school governing council, our principal, Mrs. Maitri Satyadev, and vice principals, Mrs. Rachna Sharma and Ms. Chitralekha P, for their constant... Okay, I apologize. The president is Sir Madan Daulatram and his team of office bearers.
I would also like to thank our Vice Principals, Mrs. Rachana Sharma and Ms. Chitralekha P, for their constant support and encouragement in organizing this event. I would also like to thank the parents for coming and witnessing their children showcase their talents. Last but not the least, I would like to extend my gratitude to the teachers and staff who have put in great efforts to make this a successful and a fun-filled evening. Thank you.
There are many important things in life. Learning, growing, loving, and exploring are all things that each person should take time for. Celebration is another important thing that adds excitement, immense happiness, and a lot of fun to life. Celebration can happen for a variety of formal or informal reasons. There is something deep inside humanity that loves to celebrate the best things in life. Perhaps the best thing about celebration of any kind is that it makes our lives richer and more full. So, let's celebrate. We commence today's celebration with Swadagatam Krishna, an invocation dance to seek divine blessings.
शरणागतं कृष्ण इह स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण इह स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण मधुरापुरि सदना मृदुवदना मधुसूदन इह स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण मधुरापुरि सदना मृदुवदना मधुसूदना स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण मधुरापुरि सदना मृदुवदना मधुसूदना स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण मधुरापुरि सदना मृदुवदना मधुसूदना स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं मधुरापुरि सदना मृदुवदना मधुसूदना स्वागतं कृष्ण कृष्ण सुलभ सुपुष्पगन्धकळभ भोगदात सुलभ सुपुष्पगन्धकळभ भोगदात सुलभ सुपुष्पगन्धकळभ कस्तूरी तिलक महिता मम कान्तनन्द गोपगन्ध स्वागतं कृष्ण भोगदात सुलभ सुपुष्पगन्धकळभ कस्तूरी तिलक महिता मम कान्तनन्द गोपगन्ध स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण माधुरामुरि सदना वधु मदना वधु सूदना स्वागतं कृष्ण 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 मुष्टिकाशूर चाणूर मल्ल मल्ल विशारद मधुसूदन मुष्टिकाशूर चाणूर मल्ल मल्ल विशारद मधुसूदन मुष्टिकाशूर चाणूर मल्ल मल्ल विशारद कुवलय पीठमर्धन कलिदनर्दन वकुल रक्षण सकल सुलक्षण देव मर्दन कलिदनर्दन वकुल रक्षण सकल सुलक्षण देव मर्दन कलिदनर्दन वकुल रक्षण सकल सुलक्षण देव शिष्ट जनपाल संकल्प कल्प कल्प शतकोटि असम पराभव शिष्ट जनपाल संकल्प कल्प कल्प शतकोटि असम पराभव वीर मुनि जन विचार मदन सुकुमार दैत्य संहार देव वीर मुनि जन विचार मदन सुकुमार दैत्य संहार देव मधुर मधुर रति साहस साहस नजीवती जन मानस पूजित मधुर मधुर रति साहस साहस नजीवती जन मानस पूजित सा गरि गरि सदस गरि गरि सदस सरे ग पद सद पद रे गरि सदस सजरि रे ग पद स ग प प गरि रे गरि सदस सजरि रे ग प पद स ग प प गरि रे गरि सदस तद्दित्त गुणतं दित्त गुणतं तद्गुणतं सा ग गरि गरि सदस तद्दित्त गुणतं दित्त गुणतं तद्गुणतं तक्कदरि कुकुन्दन किटकदि तक्कदरि कुकुन्दन किटकदि तक्कदरि कुकुन्दन किटकदि तक्कदरि कुकुन्दन किटकदि तगदरि कुकुन्दन किटकदि ఏం తక్కదరి కుకుందన కిటకదరి ఏం తక్కదరి కుకుందన కిటకదరి ఏం తక్కదరి కుకుందన కిటకదరి స్వాగతం కృష్ణ శరణాగతం కృష్ణ ఇహ స్వాగతం కృష్ణ శరణాగతం కృష్ణ